All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you that Eclipse horoscope for Thursday, June 10th, 2021. We've got a full solar eclipse. It's not a total solar eclipse. We're about 9 degrees off of the nodes. I'll show you the chart, show you what that means. We've got an eclipse, solar eclipse, here in the sign of Gemini. So the moon and the sun are both at 19 degrees, 47 space minutes. The nodes are at 10 degrees, 21 space minutes, okay? So anything within 18 degrees of the nodes, these nodes are real physical points in the sky, but they're not a physical planet. And it's the trajectory of the moon, the orbital flow of the moon. And these nodes, these invisible spindles, if you will, they move every 18 months. They move backwards. Every 18 months, they change signs. So we know when the next eclipses are going to be. We know, based on the nodes. So the nodes in Gemini, this all North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. This deals with knowledge. This deals with wisdom. This deals with understanding. This deals with knowing. This deals with seeking answers, seeking truth. In Gemini, there's two sides of the coin. And the ruling planet of Gemini, of course, is Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo, Mercury rules Gemini. And in Gemini, it's about all the information. Virgo is like acute, very laser-focused, very precise information, very factual. This is this. This is a microphone, not just, this is a shotgun microphone. This is a whatever. It's a very specific thing. Where in Gemini, it's just like we're presenting all of the things. Flowers. And you can use your imagination. When I say flowers, you might be thinking of roses. You might be thinking of carnations. You might be thinking of whatever it may be. Tulips and dandelions and so flowers. We can think of anything. There's that sense of imagination. And it's just like, okay, well, I know what a flower is. Well, do you know what this kind of orchid is? Oh, okay, well, that's a very specific thing. And then we can say collectively, oh, okay, every rose has its thorn. This is a collective knowledge. This is the Sagittarius energy. Every rose has its thorn. Well, we've come to know that all the roses across this planet certainly have thorns. As beautiful flowers as they are, they have thorns. So collectively, we gauge this knowledge and we can agree that this is a yes. Now, it's quite easy. Certain things make it quite easy. This is wood. We know what wood sounds like when we tap on it. We know the benefits of different kinds of woods. We know that a particle board can be used to create a desk. We know it's not going to make a good home. So this is collective knowledge and versus knowledge of a thing, knowledge of something, knowledge of, it doesn't have to be something substantial, meaning physical object, it's just knowledge in general. E equals mc squared. Okay, that's knowledge, but do I understand the speed of light? Do we understand, the full complexities of something? And then with the South Node in the sign of Sagittarius, a big theme of this particular eclipse season is understanding that we're changing ages. Astrological ages, which every 2,150 years, the sun rises in a sign. Now the sun, based on Earth's rotation and where we're at, of course, so every day, every month the sun rises in a different spot. But this is a bigger cycle. It's one that's harder to see. It takes a little bit more digging. Okay, so either way, we have the precession of the equinox, the ages. And this is what tells us, just like the nodes, the precessions move backwards. So the ages move backwards. So we're aware of the age of Taurus, which was Egyptians and Babylonians, Sumerians. We're aware of the age of Aries. Judaism primarily falls under the age of Aries, which is the Lamb of God, the ram's horn necklace, The age of Pisces was Jesus. They fed everyone with a loaf of bread, Virgo, and 2 fish. 2 fish is Pisces. And Jesus met the fisherman brothers. And there's all of these references of fish. And in the Bible, and we're not getting too biblical here, but at the same time, it's a quote. I don't remember exactly which one. But you can look this up, though. Jesus says, follow me at the end of my age, at the end of my era. Follow me into the city. There you will meet a man bearing water. Follow him. The man bearing water in that particular story is Aquarius. We're entering the age of Aquarius, and we must rid ourselves, we must free our minds of the belief systems of the past. It was only a couple hundred years ago that Shakespeare was writing plays. Where art thou, Romeo? We don't speak like that anymore. We don't. And our language is constantly changing. It's a constant evolution. So not only is it our language is changing, we're dealing with Mercury. Mercury is conjunct. It's only a degree off of this eclipse in its home sign. All about information, all about communication, how we speak. How we speak is up to change. Universal one world language, who knows? Universal one world money, cryptocurrencies or something like that. But things are changing. We don't speak how we used to speak. We don't fully know what or why our ancestors left us what they left us. We don't quite fully understand why were these markings on this cave or on this wall so important to you, to your king or whomever decided, hey, we need to write this story and we need to not write it on scroll. We need to carve it into a stone for future generations. You know, and with this sense of erasing knowledge, this eclipse is a lot about erasing knowledge of our minds in a very, very healthy way. And something that comes through is like the Library of Alexandria. You know, and we don't really know why, fully, why that was destroyed. And in part of my brain, there was a great war, you know, between two different sides. One saying we need to preserve this knowledge, we need to pass this knowledge down so people on planet Earth can understand where they came from, where they're going, why we did whatever we did that put us here. And there's another group of individuals that say, let them decide. Erase all of this stuff because none of it matters anymore. None of it matters anymore. What matters is living life. So we wrap ourselves in these ideas. We put ourselves in these cliques. You know, we're just a little off at this point of where Saturn's been, but Saturn has been creating for quite some time a sextile to the south node and a trine to the north node. And that energy is alleviated. Where Saturn's the group, the cliques, here in Aquarius anyway. Aquarius is the cliques, the groups. So it's like I'm with this group and we think this way, or I'm with this group and we think this way. And then we can cross the river and, oh, this group over here thinks this way. And we have individual personal perspectives, individual lessons that we learn, individual insight that we all have. We all have moments where we see our internal light or we see some sort of beautiful connection with the non-physical. But there's a lot of specifically religious ideologies. This is big about this eclipse, that we just don't know, that we take the word of whatever book, religion, belief structure system that our parents are in or that the group is in that we love, and we identify and we say yes. And I know Jesus. I don't mean to make this a religious thing, but this eclipse has a lot to do with this because the South Node is in Sagittarius, which deals with religion, which deals with philosophies, which deals with higher education. And it's just like when we come down to it, it's like, and I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but it's like you've never seen this physical person. You don't know. You've never seen a physical manifestation of Krishna or Buddha. You don't know. You believe. And that's okay. But there's a difference between knowing and believing. And that's the difference between Pisces and Aquarius. Pisces is about believing. Aquarius is about knowing. And throughout history, every age has seemingly had a deity, a god, a different, there's somebody spinning all of these great planets together. There's some energy that's holding all of this into place. I don't know what it is. It's cool. I'm a human being alive on this planet. Pretty cool. I get to smell flowers and eat strawberries and oranges and bananas and delicious foods and paint and look at all these things that humans have created on this planet. Giants, buildings and structures that reach into the clouds and planes and automobiles and trains that go so fast. And it's like what we have created is amazing. It's amazing. And it's like we get to enjoy this. We get to enjoy this. And then it's the belief structures that separate us from being able to enjoy sometimes other people. So we're going from this place of belief into a place of no. And going in that place of no, we have to put ourselves in a bit of check in the knowledge that we think we understand or the knowledge that we think we believe in versus the knowledge that we know. And are we believing in knowledge for fear? Are we believing in this knowledge for an afterlife? Are we believing in this knowledge to be a good person here on this planet? What is the purpose of this knowledge? What is the purpose? There's a lot of kind of what is the purpose energy. What is the why? My goal is to wake up every day. And I just watched Disney's Soul last night, Soul. What a really cool movie. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a really fun movie, and it gives you that little bit of a spark and joy to be excited about life. Finding my purpose. We're seeking this truth, seeking a purpose, seeking answers, or how am I going to fit in with the community? How am I supposed to be involved? How am I helping humanity grow? What am I? Who am I? What do I think? Do I think what others believe because they said it? Because this is what my parents believed? Because this is what the group believed? Because of what? And we have to come back to this place of separation where we can step back and say none of it matters. We can burn down all of the knowledge. I'm not saying that suggesting that we should do that, but we can burn down the Library of Alexandria. We can erase completely what the predecessors have left for us and seek new truth, new life, and joy here on this planet. What is fundamental knowledge? What do we need to know? This is all about knowledge, all about communication, all about communicating our minds, communicating our hearts. We have Mars here at the anaerotic 29th degree of Cancer, Venus in Cancer. It's pretty big that Mars is here at the 29th degree during this eclipse as well, because it's making sure that we understand our own emotional navigation. And that when, I've talked about the astrotheology stuff before on here, that down the road, Ra and Horus are not gods that we look at these days and we say, oh yeah, I saw Ra and this, or we saw Tiamat facing off with Marduk, old Sumerian gods. We don't talk about how Hercules conquered the 12 legions, which is, of course, the 12 signs of the zodiac. And Jesus and the 12 disciples, of course, it's the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 4 gospel, the 4 seasons. When we come into contact with this kind of knowledge that shakes us from our belief structure, our belief system, because somebody's offering new knowledge, how are we responding to that? Are we being open to listening to it, or are we worried that it's poison slipping into our ears is going to corrupt our minds? It's going to corrupt the system that we've created upstairs because it doesn't fit in with X, Y, or Z. This is a very big theme going on right now. And I don't want to talk about it too much in this, but it's like where we're headed, 2024, 2026. When Neptune enters Aries, and Pluto in 2026, and when Pluto enters Aquarius in 2024, this eclipse is very relevant for that time, for what's coming. And if we're stuck holding on to old knowledge, holding on to old beliefs, holding on to old things that don't serve where we're headed, our time now. It's like in the age of Aquarius, in this new place, we have no need for a celestial deity, a celestial god. Not saying that there's not a God. There's some force doing its divine work, which I will never pretend to understand. I will never pretend to understand. I know that I don't know, and I'm okay with that. So what can I do about it? How do we go about? How do we communicate with our lives? How do we go on? You know, and this is also like, if you have siblings, all of this energy in Gemini, this is like, make sure we're communicating with the people that we love. And also, like, if we don't have the best relationship with them, we don't have to pick up where we left off. That's okay. We don't have to have the exact same views in politics or religion or how you get out of bed in the morning and what's the first thing you do. Do you do yoga? Do you make your bed? Do you meditate? Do you go straight for the coffee pot? Do you, what, you know, it doesn't matter. These little differences don't matter. So this is like, you know, there's a bigger picture in how we're communicating and how we're connecting with other people. And it's okay for us to allow and accept them to be who they are, and a sense of appreciation of us to them, regardless of wherever somebody's at. I feel like I've thrown a lot at this. There's a lot going on. I feel like there's a lot more I could say about it. I keep looking down here. I mean, this is a big one, friends. It's only 9 degrees apart from the nodes, so this isn't a total eclipse that you're going to see. Honestly, it's funny geographically. I have no idea where this is happening. I look at this, not understanding where the shadows fall on Earth. But this is very big and about our minds, and something that we talked about the other day. You know, if we're in a space of creating problems so that we can solve solutions, it's understanding that aspect of ourselves, that we're manifesting, we're putting the thoughts out there, we're launching those rockets of desires, and we're manifesting and saying, yes, I need to create a new problem so I can have a new solution. And it's getting us out of this mindset. It's getting us out of this ridiculous cycle that we're in. And saying, okay, now, maybe I don't know. Maybe all the libraries are burned. Maybe all the knowledge of the world is burned. What steps do we take now? How do we communicate with one another? What is the most important aspects of education? We need to know what animals are going to kill us, what animals to be afraid of at nighttime, what foods are going to kill us. You know, red and blue are good for you, green and yellow kill a fellow. There's your berries. Okay, now we know, stay away from the green and yellow berries. You know, so it's like, what's the most important information to pass on to our peers, to our friends, to our kids, children, to our parents? That's kind of the focus right now. It's like, forget the world beliefs, forget the conspiracy theories. It's like COVID. We don't know. Somebody does. We don't know if this is really a bat in Wuhan, or if this was created in a lab. Was this created out of population control? Is this just a spoof, a random thing that happened here on planet Earth? Is this just something that happened and we're dealing with? Or is this a you know, somebody put this in line to solve a problem that we're unaware of the issue? Or maybe we're aware of the issue, but we're turning an eye to it. It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. It exists. It happened. It's very real. And now we have to deal with it. Regardless of how it came about, you know, we don't need to... Some things there are some things... I think I sang this last week. There are some things that are out of my control. Like the rain, like the wind, and like the snow. There are some things that I will never know. There are some things that are out of my control. You know, I don't know who sings that song, forgive me. It's a cool song. But, you know, and that's okay. There's some things I don't know. There are things that are out of my control. That's okay. I'm learning comfort in uncomfortability. I'm learning how to move forward. I'm seeking truth. I'm seeking the best possible answers for myself and for me to give back and to communicate with other people in this world. A lot of digging, my friends. This is a beautiful eclipse. This is a beautiful time to be alive. We all chose to be here now and chose to create this great change on this planet for the future of ourselves. So thank you for co-creating this with me. I love you. I wish you enough. Have a blessed eclipse, and we'll see you tomorrow.